This is the day that wildfire came to the suburbs, and it has been absolutely catastrophic for Colorado. The most destructive wildfire in state history has burned at least 500 homes, and the expectation is that with daybreak we'll come to understand that this fire was far more destructive than that. At this point, we don't know of any Coloradans who are confirmed to have died in the fire. But the Boulder County Sheriff, who has seen his share of wildfires over the years, says with this many neighborhoods destroyed through Superior and Louisville, it's simply unrealistic to think that there are not lives lost. I'm in Louisville right now on the north side of Harper Lake near McCaslin and South Boulder Road. This is an area that has been steadily losing homes south of Harper Lake for the last 4 hours. It was not just the initial wave of the wildfire that came through with wind gusts more than 100 miles per hour, but the simmering spot fires that then claimed one home after another, even long into the night, when firefighters have moved to other areas of more pressing concern. My colleagues are spread out across the area, north to south, east to west, and it is the southwest corner of the fire that is of most concern now as it burns back toward the Denver metro area. And winds that were quite calm for hours are beginning to kick up in new and unexpected directions, moving both west and north. Kim Christensen and Alex Lewis are leading our coverage tonight, and this is something that we really cannot wrap our arms around in terms of the scope of this fire. This is a fire with the speed and the size of what we typically see in high country timber, but it happened in open space in the suburbs.
Yeah, it did, and as you pointed out, there are those open space areas that people crave to live near, close to, Kyle, because they get that spectacular view, and part of what Colorado is and why we love living here in Colorado. But you certainly in the afternoon hours have seen how this has changed, and it's more dramatic in the evening hours, and it's also even more hard to take. It's difficult to see when you see the flames.
There was such an overwhelming effort by firefighters to do what they could today, where they could, but it was simply too overwhelming for any heroism that they could muster, because the fire was so intense in so many places at once and driven by wind gusts of more than 100 miles per hour. It was flying faster than they could drive at times, and it left fires in its wake that, if not taken care of, then that sends another neighborhood ablaze. Superior has been devastated. The 500 homes that we're talking about being lost are in that town of 13,000 people. 500 homes in a town of 13,000 people. And we have yet to learn how many homes have been lost in Louisville, where more than 20,000 people live. The mass evacuation this afternoon was something to see as tens of thousands of Coloradans tried to move north and east out of the way of this fire. And it's not over tonight. There are homes being saved right now by firefighters' actions, and there will be lives saved by people's actions who heed evacuation notices that come out in the overnight hours.
Absolutely. We need to remember that. They evacuated malls, Costco's, Walmart's. I mean, we can do this, and we need to pay attention to that. Thank you, Kyle. We'll talk to you again shortly. We are just hours away from New Year's Eve, and the most destructive fire in Colorado history is still raging across the North Metro area at this point. Earlier this evening, we did hear those numbers, 600 homes. Again, that was at 5 p.m. We know it's more than that. And they had already burned across Superior. We didn't even have Louisville numbers at that time. The fire has also burned at least 1,600 acres. We know it's more than that. And since then, our crews have been to dozens of places, and they have seen homes and blocks of homes destroyed by flames that are still being fanned by the winds that you could hear on Kyle's microphone tonight. Temperatures are falling into the 30s. The winds are slowly starting to show signs of calming down. Snow should start falling tomorrow afternoon. We wish it was sooner. Probably not. All of Superior and Louisville were ordered to evacuate earlier today. The Boulder County Sheriff's Office says no one is reported missing at this point, we hope that doesn't change.
Yeah, because we've seen some of these evacuation orders just continue. It started with Superior, Louisville, Broomfield, then even Westminster. There was a little point with Arvada earlier today, but that has been rescinded. Neighborhoods around the Interlochen Golf Course, and again, like we said, Westminster, the Meadowview neighborhood, that was a evacuation order that was put into place not even an hour ago. So that just shows that this fire is still moving at this hour. It's 10:05. Areas south all the way to the west side of Stanley Lake are on pre-evacuation. You need to be ready to go. There are 3 overnight evacuation sites, and they are the North Boulder Rec Center, the Lafayette YMCA, the Rocky Mountain Christian Church, and Niwot are all accepting people to stay overnight if you need a place to stay. And I would imagine with the amount of homes destroyed and the areas evacuated, there are people that need to take advantage of these places. As far as injuries, we know 6 people have been injured, and Boulder County Sheriff says there could be more injuries certainly tomorrow as we learn more, as the sunlight comes and shows the true level of destruction. No deaths at this hour, but we also know that could potentially change as well. People are being asked to stay out of evacuation areas tonight because, as we've seen, emergency crews are still working. They're still trying to protect homes and minimize the damage, and they're having trouble getting through to some areas. So we understand the want and the need to get back home, but stay safe. Yeah. Be with your family. Go to one of those evacuation sites or other friends or family members. You can. It's true, Kim. There's nothing you can do. We'll see what happens in the morning.
Our Nelson Garcia is very close to Coal Creek Ranch neighborhood, also right by Avista Adventist Hospital that evacuated earlier today. So Nelson, you have seen all the emergency levels in different ways, whether it be the fire, but the evacuation of a hospital and how close that fire came to the hospital.
And you know, Kim, for a matter of hours, there was a wall of flame behind